Okay, so far I actually haven't been impressed with the GoPro 11. The image quality of my 8 I think beats it in the trail. So this initial clip on the road that you just watched is very good. And I'm using the auto boost setting, which I'm not going to recommend to anyone. You can see right here there's actually quite a lot of noise in the image. This is with auto boost on, and it just gets worse as I pick up speed. And in comparison to even the Hero Black 7 version, I mean, I think it's a touch worse, maybe about the same. But the Hero 8 Black running a high bitrate is definitely better than this. And I think that's due to having a 12 megapixel sensor, slightly smaller sensor, but the pixels are going to be bigger on that sensor than having a 27 megapixel sensor that's only slightly bigger than the one on the 8. I think that's why in the lower light situation and high contrast situation, like riding in the forest, the 8 actually beats it. Like right here you can see there's a ton of wobble. It's a terrible image. There's a ton of noise. Yeah, initially I had the Lone Ranger settings. I don't recommend those either. I can put a clip. I didn't even put the video up, it was so bad. Basically what I found is the camera goes to the noisiest level possible. So right now the ISO is set to 1600, and you can see there that's another whole bunch of just ridiculous jiggle. Later on I do change this to just the lowest boost setting, and it is better than running auto boost. So if you have this camera, turn your auto boost off, put your ISO max at 800, or I have it set here at 1600. It's still a touch noisy. I mean, obviously at some point the camera is not going to be able to do what you're asking it to do if you're putting in unrealistic parameters, which is why I set this to 1600. But any higher than this in the image just goes terribly poor. So initially the one that I didn't post, and maybe I will, it had it set to I think the 3200 ISO max, and it's unwatchable. It's just unwatchable. It's so bad. And similarly to this, it had the auto boost on. It was still doing the same thing. So I don't know if you can see this on YouTube, but there is on my screen quite a bit of grain through this whole section. Some of it's blurry from the auto boost just not doing what it's supposed to do. Now, conversely to what, again, on the Lone Ranger's channel says about the wind noise, I left the wind on auto, and actually it works, I think, really, really well. The audio is, in my opinion, excellent on this camera, and the wind cutting does work. And I found that today it's not that windy, but on a previous day I went and it was fairly windy in a couple sections, and that effectively did cut down all the wind noise, and I still heard myself talking, and it was great. So the audio is fantastic on this camera. The picture quality, and I think it's just because they squeezed too many megapixels onto the sensor, leaves something to be desired for mountain biking applications. And in this case I am running 4K on the camera. I was doing 5.3 before, and I don't know, the 5.3 I think this looks slightly better. So again, that's a little bit weird, and it shouldn't look slightly better, but you can decide. I have the former test, the GoPro 11 test up there, where I was running 5.3 downscaled to 4K, and I think it's actually worse than this. So I think this is a bit better, running the camera at 4K. So all the settings are similar on this to my Hero 8 Black. The only difference is the auto boost right now is on. Again, later I do turn that off. And even with it off, it is better if I just run it on the simplest, lowest boost setting. But the Hero 8 picture, I think, is a lot crisper. And you can watch, I have a video deliverance on 2 cameras, and you can see when it's me riding or filming, it's the Hero 8 Black, and when it's Joe riding or filming, it's his Hero 7 Black. And I think you'll see, like, those 2 cameras are quite good. I almost think the Hero 8 Black is the pinnacle for mountain biking action camera. The picture is just so good. The only drawback is the non-replaceable lens, which for me hasn't been an issue, and as a result I'm going to hang on to it. I'm going to hang on to this one as well, but the Hero 8 for lower light is much better than this one, and it's cheaper. So if you're looking to buy an action camera and you don't know which one to buy, honestly, the Hero 8 Black would be my recommendation. Oh.
Don't want to fall off that log. Probably break your leg or something. Oh. Whoa. My God, there's no, I guess it's no warm.
So there you go, you can check out that whole video if you want, but I think you can see the footage from, I think the 7 and the 8 both look a little better than the 11 so far. So I'm a little disappointed. Let me know what you think.
All right. Oh, the crowd's up here.
You can probably see why I didn't bother posting this. It's basically unwatchable. I mean, this is very, very bad. And the lighting, I mean, it's high contrast, but it is middle of the day, full sunshine, you know, lighting that wouldn't have given the Hero 7 or 8 any difficulty whatsoever. And the grain in here is just absolutely ridiculous. The auto boost is letting us down as well. And I mean, yeah, very disappointing picture. I didn't even bother posting this video, and I'm not going to, just because it's just such a bad picture. It looks like something that came off a budget discount action cam. So anyway, that's the if you leave the ISO setting too high, it basically runs it at the highest setting, or it must.